Okay, I think it's time to start. I hope you all have had a good breakfast. Good morning. Nice to see that you are all here so early this morning. And welcome to our second breakfast seminar this fall. Today I will just start and give you some information about what we are doing in the management team. And then I will give the floor to Martha and Mats and Becky, the group working with the organization chart. They will launch our survey that we hope that everybody will attend later on this week. But first, some information. What are we doing? Well, if you were here last time, maybe you remember that all the managers we work with improvement of the overall working environment. So the communication group has now done some work, and we will present a new internal communication strategy the 15th of December at the Christmas party. And then the organizational group will present today, and the administration group that work with how administration is working at ECE has started, so they will present on another breakfast seminar. And then we have a group work with employeeship, and the last one with project processes. So we will continue with that. Our development plan is now updated. We haven't done any major changes. It's just an update. So we will speak to the unions next week, and after that, when everybody agree, we will present that one on the intranet. But don't expect too much. The work with a new development plan will start in the beginning of next year. So that's when we're going to work thoroughly through that plan. I can also say that I, Maria, and Lars, we will visit the other deans at the other schools. We have booked meetings with 5 schools before Christmas and some after Christmas. And then we will discuss, first we will tell them about how the ECE schools support research and education. And we want to discuss with them how they look at our collaboration and how we develop the collaboration between the schools. So, yeah, that will be interesting. Last thing, the Christmas dinner. So the 15th of December, I hope you have all got the invitation. This year will be a little bit different. It will be a combo. So we will first have a conference, and then we have a party. And at the conference, we will look at the results from this survey we are launching today. And hopefully, we will also have an external lecturer that will hold a workshop about the advantages of being an interdisciplinary, cross-disciplinary organization. That means we will talk about how we can work together from all sides. So it will, of course, that will be good if you all attend the 15th of December. Yeah, I think that was all for me. So now I give the floor to you, Martha and Matt.
Good morning. Aha, now you can hear me. Congratulations to everyone for getting here through the ice and snow. But you are Swedes, right? It felt like home when we got up this morning. So thank you for being here today and for your attention to our short presentation. While I have the floor, I'd like to take the liberty to introduce you to my colleague, Dr. Augustos Tinakos. Augustos is from the Eastern Macedonian and Thrace University in Greece. He is a professor and the director of engineering informatics there. He's here to tell us about his very, very interesting research in education using mobile, blended, and mobile and blended learning and augmented reality. So he'll be presenting over at the Telfika this morning at the CSC school, but will be part of the higher seminar for us on Friday, if you want to hear what he says. So welcome, Augustos. Thank you. I participated with a group of very creative and hardworking people from your school on this organizational chart process. So I want to point out who they are. Elizabeth Keller is over there. Elizabeth, I can't pronounce your last name. Okay, I still can't pronounce it. I'm sorry. Elizabeth from the library, Becky from language, Mats from the Department of Learning. Did I miss anyone? So we've worked very hard to come up with ideas on how to create a picture for everyone about how our school is shaped. Who's here? What are they doing? And how do we connect with one another? So Matt's going to tell you some more about what our objectives are. But in order for us to be able to do this, we have to hear from you. We have to get information from you and everyone else who works with you who isn't here today, so that we can do an accurate map of who everyone is and what they're doing and who they connect with. So Matt's going to tell you about the survey design that we've created. I also want to mention that Marcus, Frederick, and Johan were instrumental to helping us put together a survey that will yield the data we want, and with the tools of software so that we can give you visuals of what this looks like. We don't just want to collect information about what you do, but we want to be able to show with pictures what it actually looks like and how we're connected to one another. So our thanks go out to them for the hard work that they've done helping us. So I'm going to turn it over to Mats, and this is my request again, to please fill out the surveys and encourage the others in your unit to do the same, so that we can get an accurate picture of what everyone's up to, and we'll present to you what we find at the Christmas party. Thanks.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Mats Samuelsen, and I'm going to present to you what we're trying to achieve in terms of describing our organization. First of all, what does our people chart look like? It turns out that when we met in Nynäshamn, a few of us earlier this autumn, at least I and a few others couldn't really understand exactly what our organization looked like and who reported to whom, and etc., etc. So we found out that it might be a good idea to try and describe it. And so we're a group of people now trying to map our organizational structure from both an informal and a formal perspective. And the group is Martha, leading the group, Rebecca Hinks, Elizabeth Keller, Elisabeth Mannefelt, and I. When we started to prepare this presentation, we tried to find something clever to say, only to find out that a lot of people have said a lot of clever things about organizations. And here are a few quotes. Like, for example, Richard Feynman said, "Nature uses only the longest threads to weave her patterns, so that each small piece of a fabric reveals the organization of the entire tapestry." And then Sandra Day O'Connor said, "We don't accomplish anything in this world alone, and whatever happens is the result of one's life and all the weavings of individual threads from one to another that creates something." Sandra Day O'Connor was the first female US Supreme Court judge. She's currently 86 years old. And then Jack Welch. He's known as a tough guy, in case you didn't know. And he did a lot of stuff in General Electric that I don't necessarily think was absolutely clever, but at least he got this one right. An organization's ability to learn and to translate what that learning into action rapidly is the ultimate competitive advantage. And I agree strongly with that. So, we think it would largely benefit the ECE school and every individual in our organization if we all understood our respective roles and responsibilities and our way of connecting with each other and to what extent we can learn from each other, which is the goal of this exercise. And we will try and describe our organization from a functional perspective, and I'll show you what we mean. An advice network and an informal network. And what we envision will look something like this. Well, you have all seen formal charts of organizations. Now, if you look into our homepage, you will all quickly find out that there is a high-level description of our organization, and it's not correct. So what I think it's a good point and a good idea to try and design such an organization chart where everybody is named and together with the respective functions. Now, a functional network diagram will look something like this, we believe, where we describe how people connect to one another from a functional perspective. Now, this, of course, will require of you to try and name who your functional connections are, which, you know, is important. Which is why it's important that you respond to our survey. And then, what was this? And then the informal network diagram and an advice network diagram will look something like this, we hope. If everybody participates, I'm sure we'll get close to something like this, where you can see how people connect to one another in an informal way. So I think by Christmas, or by at least before our Christmas party starts, we'll be able to present to you something like this. But it all depends on your participation. So, as of today, you will all receive a message, a mail, where you will have a link to this survey. And the survey will be open until the 14th. So I hope you will be able to quickly respond to it so that we can continue our analysis. Any questions?
So you will get the nice pictures with a lot of colors and a lot of connections, and then you will learn what and utilize it in what ways. Well,
first of all, there will be a formal description of our organization. And of course, it's that itself is, of course, necessary for an organization, for people to be able to look into their own organization and find out where people are, and so forth. Now, these informal networks may tell us a lot of things. I cannot guarantee that they will tell us a lot of things, but we hope that they will tell us a lot of things. And primarily, they will tell us how we communicate between each other, and possibly also, if there isn't any communication between units or people where we thought there ought to be communication, we might want to do something about that. Does that answer your question?
That was what I expected to hear, but I think it's good that you tell us that,
okay.
You know, so we see the benefits of participating.
Okay, good.
Is there anything that we can read an existing survey done at another university that's like this so that we can get a better picture of what kind of report comes out of this?
When we started this exercise, Martha brought forward a couple of papers. And what do you think, Martha? Is this something we can publish, or?
We started the exercise by looking at the research on organizational charting. And so if you're interested in looking at that, we can certainly provide links for you to review it. What's interesting about organizational charting is that it gives a sense of, can I say this, the strength of an organization. So like any functional entity, the extent to which the elements are connected to one another has to do with how strong the element is, so, or the entity is. So what we want is to look at how things are right now, and then there will of course be next steps to continue to answer Bjorn's question. Then what we want to do is say, okay, well, where are people connected? Where are the crossovers? Who's collaborating with whom? And what else might we do to strengthen and support our organization? So that's what we're looking for, and certainly we can send you the information about the organizational charting research if you're interested.
Thank you. Yes, I was wondering when these graphs will be presented, because we have a project group of students in the gymnasium who are doing their final project in graph theory and mathematics and combinatorics. So I think some of them are quite interested in looking at networks, and this is most certainly something they could look at and analyze mathematically. So, so my
Okay.
question is, when is this? When will we see the results?
Well, I think, as I said, we are attempting, at least, to be able to present something on the 15th of December when we have our Christmas party.
And these graphs that you showed? Yeah.
Well, the same ambition,
Okay, great.
yeah. Okay, well, in that case, are there any further questions? Well, in that case, Lena, please.
Yeah, I guess then we're done with what we thought of presenting today. But someone also said to me, maybe Lena, you should ask them if they have questions. Because now you have had some information. Do you wonder what we are doing? Or quiet. Yeah. Or are there other things you want to bring up when you have so many people here in the room? Well, at least I have asked. And you know that we're going to have those breakfast seminars at least twice every semester. So you can prepare questions for us if you have some. Okay, thanks for today. Have a good day.